more on this, let's bring in France 24's Philip Turle. First of all, Philip, what more do we know about this arrest and this death of this official?
Well, details at the moment, Jeannie, are a little sketchy. We know the name of the official is Zhao Myat Lin, who was reportedly arrested last night at 1:30 local time. Now, this is part of the military's campaign to go into people's homes to arrest those they see as being a threat to their military takeover of the country. I'm more on that in just a moment. He was apparently then taken into custody and then declared dead later on during the night, and now relatives are trying to retrieve his body. Now, what we don't know is what the military are going to say about that death. If you look at what happened just a couple of days ago over the weekend, another party official who was called Yu Kin Muon Lat was also killed in detention. The reason given for that by the military was that he had fainted, but afterwards he was seen, the body was seen being taken out with a blood-stained cloth wrapped around the head, and officials who are from the NLD say that he died after being severely beaten and tortured by both the police and by soldiers. So those are the details we have at the moment, but this is obviously on the part of the military a way of them trying to intimidate the protesters even further, saying, look, the NLD, the National League for Democracy of Aung San Suu Kyi, is not going to come back. She's still in detention. We've been in power now for over a month, so therefore you should stop protesting.
And despite that crackdown, and despite the stories like the one you just told us about, that opposition politician, it seems that the protests are not stopping.
No, the more this goes on, the more determined the protesters are continuing to be. They say that they have nothing to lose. They want their democracy returned. On the other side, the military appears absolutely determined to stamp out any return to the situation that Myanmar was in before they took over power on the 1st of February. So there's this massive standoff and this terrible campaign by the military to intimidate, to threaten members of the public who want to protest peacefully. And over the last few hours, we've seen activists being trapped in neighbourhoods, parts of Yangon, the main city. 200 people prevented from leaving certain areas. People who were out protesting for International Women's Day yesterday. They have managed, many of them, to flee that area since then due to the military then loosening their clampdown in that area. But there have been 1,800 arrests so far, probably many more within the last few hours. And it has to be said also over 50 deaths since this started at the beginning. So no let up. And I think the military worried about how things are going to turn out. They obviously know that they're not getting any support on the international front, or not much, and there is increased tension within Myanmar itself, to a point where members of the army who have fled overseas to neighbouring Thailand, for example, who didn't want to carry out orders on the part of the military, now the military is saying you've got to send those soldiers back to Thailand because they need to face trial for what they've done.
Philip, thanks for that. France 24's Philip Turle.